Nope. GM friends. Let's give Coder Dan a second as he does his Discord dance, the weekly Saturday Discord dance. If someone can they hit the Gotchi recording bot so we can record this? Thanks, Shona.
Hey, Jam guys.
GM Coder Dan, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Pretty good. Finally was able to catch up on a little bit of sleep today. I've been pretty sleep deprived the last couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, right? How's the
But yeah,
baby?
good. He had his first vaccine booster today. I don't know which vaccine it was, but got a booster and he got it yesterday and he's kind of been like not sleeping, so it's been rough. But I heard it gets better.
Yeah, they do eventually get on a schedule, and then you get used to being in this like 3 hour a night zone. I mean, for my child, it
Yeah.
took 6 months, which it's literally the only thing I didn't account for. I did all the maths, I did all the stuff I needed to like to be prepped for it, but just not the sleep part. No one told me about that.
Right. Yeah. Which is like the hardest part. Thrax gonna get better. Yeah, I think I'm getting there. I'm waking up at 5:30 a.m. now to take over from Grandma. Grandma's helping with the night, which is honestly it's a game changer. The fact that we have someone doing that. So I wake up at 5:30 and do the morning shift.
It also like I feel
But
like
yeah,
the grandparents love that to a degree because it just brings them back in time to taking care of
yeah,
you, and yeah, it's just a good
yeah.
role.
Clutch Granny for sure. I can without Granny, I don't think I'd have literally any like computer time. But having her help out is at least gives me almost a normal workday ish. But yeah, I go to an energy level. It's all good though. We'll get through it. How you doing in the future?
I'm doing well.
How's
I
your week?
it's been a good week. I didn't really sleep well last night, but I didn't have a baby, so it's just a little bit different. It's been a good week though. Just the market is turning around. Seeing ETH like
Yeah,
above 2,000 again, it brings like tears of joy. Like I'm just so happy. It's like, oh
I
God, we're
know.
running again.
It was like the one on one of my mornings. I was listening to the interview with Laura Shin. Anyone here listen to that interview? It was her and Max, I think Retnick, I think is his name, who was like an ETH core dev apparently, and he left to join Solana about half a year ago, and then someone else from Terran something from who's still like an ETH guy, and it was just like they were getting pummeled by the Solana guy over and over again. It's like man, you might have seen some clips from it where he was telling Vitalik to like stop using 10-year-old tech or like 4-year-old tech and stuff. But after that, about 20 within 24 hours, ETH pumped from 1,700 up to 2,200. So might have been bottom signals. We'll see.
Just imagining the amount of short squeeze that happened. People shorting ETH and just getting completely wrecked.
Yeah, I mean it was already so low. It's like you can't really short when it's down that low. Just after a major upgrade, but it was kind of stupid to be shorting at those levels.
Yeah, I came very close because we talked about the ETH OS phone, the DGen 1. they're like
Mhm.
on secondary market for like point 0.1 ETH, and we were talking about it on the Hangout before that big pump. And I said, I was like, if I buy this now, ETH is going to send, and then this phone is going to be it's way more expensive than what I intended to pay for it, because it would have been. I already have one ordered, but this would be a second one. It would have been around like $200 price. So now, obviously, that has gone up 250. But it's like, when if ETH
Yeah.
hits 5 or 6 thousand, I'm gonna hate myself.
Right. I guess you don't. Yeah, you don't. It doesn't stake it for you in the phone or anything. That'd be kind of cool if it did.
Yeah, I can always sell the NFT because there's the secondary market for that. So,
Right.
but I was like, it's
What
gonna.
does that give you? I mean, you got the phone. What does the NFT give you?
Well, the NFT is had to claim the phone. So the claim
Oh,
hasn't
okay.
been.
Oh, got it, got
Yes,
it.
I could
You
speculate on
bought the
that.
NFT for it,
Yeah.
right?
But I was like, instead I bought a NFT on Abstract, and it's already down in price. So good decisions every day. And this is why the DAO
Right.
shouldn't trade ETH.
Well, we're probably back to where the what was the entry point for the Dow buying ETH? It was around these levels. It was 20 in the low 2000s, I think, right?
Yeah, I want to say somewhere around there. And we still have
Trying to
our
get back
sell
to our
ladder
entry
in
point.
place, right? Where it's
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the first what was the first target? Like 10,000.
I thought it was 7,500. Yeah, I know Diddley was trying to lower it, but that didn't pass. That prop didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think Bitcoin go back to 100K is always good sign. Might be we might be entering that next leg up. I saw a lot of good charts showing that there's a lot of good signs coming. So maybe 10K, maybe not be crazy. We'll see. I mean, the Pectra upgrade, I was spending a little bit of time just understanding what was going on with that. I mean, I looked into it a couple weeks ago, but now it's finally live, so everyone, it's all over the feed. Seems like it gives a little bit more good preferential treatment to blobs, so L2s will benefit. It's also increasing I think it's increasing the block size of ETH, but I'm not sure what the time period for that is, because this whole thing was like ETH wants to pivot to now focus more on the L1 and basically try and compete with Solana. So I really hope that ETH can gain some mind share back. It's pretty tough being an EVM in the EVM ecosystem, and then literally everyone is going to. It's like owning a McDonald's franchise, but everyone's eating at Burger King. So hopefully ETH can get some of its mojo back. I think it'll be beneficial to all EVM projects.
Yeah, I remember seeing somewhere
Stellar
that
GM, sir.
the Petra update made ETH deflationary again. So that's hopeful.
Yeah. I didn't realize it hadn't been deflationary for a while. I mean, I thought that was the whole meme.
Yeah, apparently it wasn't. Just like it was slightly inflationary at first for a bit. I remember seeing something on the timeline about that, and then now it's like more significantly deflationary.
And yeah, Zbot commenting on Ghost. Ghost is looking good. Having a good little week here. Zbot. Oh, the 6K was the first target. Okay. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be really cool if we could hit 6K per ETH held. The DAO has it 1,200 ETH or so. If I remember, I was looking at the Dow Treasury report the other day. If we go parallel. So yeah, in Gotchi land though, we had a nice week. We got V0.9 of Gotchi Guardians deployed. Pretty big release. Anyone here played the latest version yet? We added some kind of looking at the game from a first-time user perspective. The team's been focusing on that for this last release. It's called first-time UX. The FATUX, I think, is what Slama calls it. So added in a tutorial and got a little opening cinematic that's kind of still work in progress. But we're trying to add to the kind of the lore, get people to understand, what gotchis are, what liquidators, or we just call them licks, what licks are. And we got a little opening cinematic that's still very work in progress, but they decided to ship it anyway, just to see what the stats would be on that. And then after you get through that, you enter the Sergeant Drill tutorial, which is really cute. If you guys haven't seen it, I mean, I think Slama did a fantastic job with Sergeant Drill and teaching you about the different guardians and like the armor and the different personalities that they have. And then you select a guardian, and it asks you if you want to join the tutorial. And the tutorial is like, people always get in the game and they don't really know, they don't realize you can move the gotchi or where the licks are coming from. So very, very helpful little tutorial. It'll make a nice YouTube video as well. On top of that, it also brought the Shaman, the new the 6th guardian and the final guardian before the bigger release of the game, and a bunch of other little fixes here and there. So all in all, pretty meaty release. Definitely would recommend if you're playing the game, you can go over to the DApp, and there should be, if you go to the announcements channel, I think there should be a link to the release. I think it's in the Game Center, to the release notes. Quite beefy.
Yeah, I'm watching the tutorial
look
part
at
of
that
it
Sergeant
now.
Drill.
Yeah, Sergeant Drill.
Yeah, there's a new item. Not a new item. The magic fertilizer was kind of OP before. You could kind of just always get it, and it would always it's like it was just giving your critical strike, increasing your critical strike chances. So I think that was a good move to rework that. And now they're kind of stackable items that you can put on individual towers that give them kind of power ups. So shredding, rooting, slowing, or fleeing kind of fright effects. That's going to be pretty interesting to watch how people use that. And then the Shaman, probably going to be my new favorite character here, because I love seeds. I love the seed breeder. That's a new guardian. Some changes to the talent tree, and oh yes, one of the biggest ones, ranked matchmaking. With this update, we are releasing a beta of our long-term competitive progression system. This system is multi-layered and is designed to reward players for playing competitively. The system is quite big and complex, so these patch notes focus on high-level takeaways. And you can see here the UI, and I think I have to jump into the game, but I think we already got some people joining, doing some games, leveling up on this leaderboard. Not totally sure. I remember hearing Slama say the matchmaking might work and might not. It really depends on the player pool. So if there's not a ton of players, it's not going to wait for a player of your level to join. It'll kind of just pull from all available players. But as we start getting more players in, that player pool will get more and more accurate. And one of my favorite changes was the loading time of the game. This is something I keep I like kept harping on. Like, guys, we need to get the loading time of the browser version significantly faster, because it was taking me on my, like, I don't have a super slow connection, but it's not fast either. It was taking like 2 or 3 minutes to load the game, and now they've gotten it down to where it's about 30 seconds. So huge improvement. Really excited to start, like, really want to start getting out to gaming communities and like letting them know about this game. And it was, if we have a long loading time, that's really gonna just not lead to any player acquisition. So trying to get all that in place before we really go push hard in places like Reddit, where they're not super, like, they're our target audience, but they're not super friendly. So we got to make sure, everything is in place. That, and like, any future multi-platform launches will be really helpful with that.
Yeah, the tutorial looks
Let's
good.
see what else. Yeah, right. It's pretty cute. I think it's gonna be a thing that we continue to polish, but I think overall, having the tutorial, even if we just put that on like a YouTube video somewhere, I think that'll be really helpful to have. Has Guardians made any money so far? I guess it depends how you define making money. Does it have revenue? Yeah, there has been a bit of revenue. It's like nothing extreme yet. But if you define making money as, is it exceeding its production budget yet, then no. But we haven't also done a huge amount of promotion with it, because it's still like I mentioned with the loading time. I mean, it's kind of hard to convert someone with a 2-3 minute loading time into a game. It's supposed to be pretty quick to load. But I'm confident that I think Slama and the team are doing a really good job addressing concerns like that. And the monetization and the in-game purchases that they've built, like, industry standard. You could compare this to almost any like profitable mobile game, and it stacks up well. Yeah, thanks Logan for misquoting me. That's good. Always like that. So yeah, I think we're nearing our next version. They've already started working on like the kind of what the team considers the release version. Like, we're V 0.9 now, and this final sprint is just going to be polishing. They've also added in localization, which was when we were talking with our potential publisher. They were like, guys, like, we have to have Japanese and Korean. So we've added in. The team's done a sprint on adding in a localization pipeline, and we might be. There's a good chance we'll reach out here in the community and see if there's any people that want to help out with these. A lot of these we can do internally at Pixelcraft, but I might see if we can get some community help on the localization front, because yeah, like, Japan and Korea are, by the numbers, they're definitely a potential target market for the game as well. And just yeah, so that's another kind of thing that we consider necessary for a successful release. I don't see how these non-asset. Hey, GM, sir.
Yo,
How these non-asset games bring any value to the project. I think we've explained ourselves quite a few times here. The goal is to expand the revenue base for Pixelcraft in a non-dilutive way, generate revenue back to the DAO, and the DAO can choose how to use that money in whatever way it wants. If it wants to keep funding rarity farming, or fund more games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
I
talking
mean,
just the other day about how there's really no alignment for the DAO to have. I mean, there is and there isn't, right? It's just a little weak, a little indirect. The idea of like a game like Gotchi Guardians gets revenue. There's a revenue split. Pixelcraft sends, what is it, 20% immediately into the coffers of the treasury. But there's like, it would be great if there was like a redesign of the tokenomics at some point where, you know, Aavegotchi asset holders could directly benefit from the treasury growing, right? The DAO treasury growing. Easier said than done. If everybody was doing that, it'd be done. But in the meantime, the DAO growing a treasury does have an indirect way in that it funds things like Verity farming that lead to asset holders getting payouts. So maybe it's not the most efficient way of the cap to use the capital, but it is a way. But yeah, so not to cut you off there, Dan, but yeah, I think we're talking about the new release, right? 0.9, and just its success does feed into the treasury of the DAO, which is cool.
yeah, we're working hard, gearing up for a much bigger release than anything we've done up to this point. Just got to make sure that the things that are going to drive success are in place. We have Zola, we have a credit card purchase, we have Ghost purchases for Web3 users. We're trying to streamline that process of paying with Ghosts, because right now you have to deposit it into the Pixelcraft player profile first, which is a lot of friction for someone who's never touched the player profile. So that's on the docket as well. Streamlining that so Web3 people can pay with Ghost, possibly even USDC. I mean, if we're really trying to reduce friction, I'm in that camp of revenue is revenue. It doesn't really matter. We can give a discount or something if you pay in Ghost, but we don't want to turn people away just because they're too lazy to go into DeFi Llama or something and switch for a token. So
right. In the
gotta get
defense of
those.
the original design, I mean, that was when games like Lagin's Strategachi, we were banking on them also like plugging into the player profile. So it was an
Yeah.
onboarding to a wider, more diverse ecosystem. But there was a funnel to a bunch of DAO created games. But due to recent the way those things have played out, it's less of an incentive right now for us to focus on that. We'd always be able to still do that at some point, but there's really no like urgency to do that since there's very few DAO games in production right now. One other revenue stream that I think most of us already know, but worth repeating, is um, when all these on-chain skins and things that are purchased in Gotchi Guardians migrate to Base, they all get minted as NFTs on-chain assets on Base. And so when the Bazaar marketplace goes live on Base, we will have whole new categories. The UI for this, everything it's already ready to go. We just need to bridge it over and migrate everything. And you'll have new asset categories. Like you'll click on Gotchi Guardians and you'll have the drop down. There'll be like vanities, skins, all these different ways to trade. What you earn and what you buy in the game will have a liquid market, which is really cool. It's something that again separates it from traditional Web2 games because while it does face traditional gamers, like just gamers at large, it also has the benefits of a blockchain backend. So you can immediately plug into those P2P marketplaces. Oh, yeah, I'm very excited about that. That was actually a question that I saw come up in the Gotchi Guardians Discord this last week, and Slama confirmed. Just worth repeating. Everybody should know that what you get there will be on chain here in the very near future.
Yeah, we've already written the migration scripts for all the assets that are on Geist, and we'll be redeploying the Gotchi Guardian skins contract along with all the existing skins. So that Ghost Pirate, man, I think people were sleeping on the Ghost Pirate there. That thing who knows? Like if the game does well, that's like one of those epic collectibles that I think there was only like 12 of them minted or something very low like that. It's going to be crazy watching that take off. You know, skins markets are amazing because there's no like Ponzonomics built in. People collect the skin because they like the skin. So I'm really excited to see how this direction in Web3 gaming goes. And we're trying to lead that. Maybe we're gonna die on that hill, but I think it's the way that Web3 gaming needs to evolve. We've got to get away from just like pure Ponzi games that have been sprouting up on things like Abstract and other chains. Like it's just a negative EV for pretty much everyone, whereas skins are like positive EV.
No, totally. I'm excited for the non-Ponzi stuff, non-casino fi. Gotchi Gardens is in a great place. Like we're showing it to a couple uh, other potential like partners in distribution and things like that for certain markets, and they're like, "This game's like super
Yeah.
ready to go." We're like, "Yeah, I know. We just need the right partners to take it to market with us at this point." So very, very bullish on where it is. How many people have played 0.9? If anybody's got any feedback or impressions, I know every time we ship a new patch, there's always a couple bugs or surprises. This one in particular has a ton of stuff in it that is new. Leaderboards, things that set us up for XP events. There's like, I would say we probably should just go, if things are working well and we all regroup on Monday, expect an XP event in the next couple of days. We'll get that sorted out and make it go live. We're thinking something like a 1 week tournament, basically, like XP if you're on the leaderboard, more XP if you're near the top, and it's basically it's a type of MMR formula that the team has gone ahead with, right, Dan? Like,
Yeah,
so
the
many other.
stars. It's kind of a simplified. It's like a level of. It's not super simple, but it's also not like very complex like you'd see in something like League of Legends. It's fairly basic, but I think it'll be effective.
Yeah.
I mean, Slama, he knows what he's doing. He's done so many of these.
VR
Yeah,
devs
see crypto. Yeah, I
question.
was going to reply to that. We've talked about in past hangouts about our Twitch strategy and making the publisher. Their whole team has been in. They were at Token 2049 last week, so they were all very busy with IRL stuff. But that's higher on our priority list. And then things like Steam and Epic are also on that list. If there's a chance we might be able to get like a Nintendo exclusive and get heavily promoted. So we're definitely leaning towards that if that is something we can confirm. Otherwise, it'll be a cross-platform, everything at the same time kind of approach. We'll do Steam and Epic and potentially Switch. I don't think Steam. We're gonna. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna have to make a version that is a little bit more dumbed down in terms of Web3 for anything. Doesn't matter if it's Epic or Steam or Switch. There's you can't mention NFTs, even in a lot of the marketing and stuff. So there will be a special version that is kind of still built on the blockchain rails. Like we're still using all of our marketplace and everything, but you don't mention it. And that's also the version that would go out on Steam. Yep, no worries.
Yeah, we're also working, if anybody here is on Tribally, just for this current release, another Web3 platform. I would say I've been really impressed with their team. A little bit more flexibility and the back end things we can do in terms of rewards and incentives and kind of an achievement system. So we're working through that with them and expect an announcement if you are on Tribally already, or if you'd like to get started. There'll be some campaign with them next week coming up. So Gotchi Guardians debuting on Tribally. I also noticed they didn't even tell us, but like working with Hyperplay and just them pushing the latest update. When you they put the Editor's Choice Award for Gotchi Guardians on there. So just a shout out to again the amount of quality of the game. And when I asked them about it, they cited just how we they said we've just been so impressed with the updates you push and how full each update is. So that's why you guys have that. So for what it's worth, I was like, that's pretty cool. So recognition's always nice. I think the most important thing is like there's the Web 2 strategy, like just Gotcha Guardians is clearly a mainstream play. At the same time as we go live with the migration to base, we have all the features we needed in Gotcha Guardians now to host these types of tournaments and XP events and really throw a budget at onboarding new people to come play the game and raise awareness about what Aavegotchi is, kind of reintroduce ourselves. Because we can be a little bit hard on ourselves from time to time. We have to put everything in perspective and just remember we're like 5-year-old NFT project that is trying to remain fresh and relevant in a brand new meta. We've gone through a couple of bear markets now together, and yet here we are, and we're producing content that the Yuga Labs of the world never ever actually delivered with a shoestring budget compared to them. And so all that, no excuses. We get to put out a new game and a bazaar and all these like updated smart contracts on a brand new platform called Base and leave we've been swimming up water being on Polygon for the last many years. It's high time to get off there. So just stoked to kind of have a blank slate and a new audience to introduce all the cool stuff we've built. Like you put us next to all these other meme projects and no issue with them, but we just have a much deeper, more robust ecosystem. And the challenge will be for all of us to make sure we have an onboarding flow and a incentive program for new people, because it can be deep and have all these interesting different on-chain projects from fake gotchis to the games to the P2P marketplace. But if there's no like clear onboarding experience, like what do I do 1, 2, 3, it's going to be a real uphill battle, and you don't get these opportunities every day. So Base is excited to have us. They're going to promote us, and in the weeks ahead, it's going to be up to everybody to advocate and share what works for Aavegotchi and why you guys are here and what's special about it. And I think for different people that have entered at different parts of the different cycles, it's going to be different answers. But the cool thing is it's a full migration, and you'll be able to talk about all of those different aspects of Aavegotchi while we migrate to base.
Hey guys, I just hopped up here.
Hey.
I have some sad news. I just heard from T-Bird's brother, and he has passed away.
Oh man, fuck.
So just wanted to let everybody know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man,
Do they need anything? Can we help with anything?
I'm not sure yet. I am like talking to his brother on his account right now, so I'll let you guys know if I hear anything or know anything. For the people asking who, T-Bird. Yeah. So that's all. So
Jeez,
love you
man.
guys. This sucks.
Totally sucks. And yeah, thanks for sharing the news. It's hard to do that. And you were very close with him. I mean, you've done a lot of IRL events with him, things like that. It'll always be a regret of mine. I never got to actually meet T-Bird in person. So
Yeah,
He's
definitely
a
a
good one.
special human. Had an impact on my life for sure. Um, yeah, pretty sad. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Man, that's rough. Moment of silence for T-Bird.
He was like um, just a great community member, right? Like we all bring something different to the table, but he was always bringing positivity and
Yeah, man.
um,
He had the
yeah,
ghost ship. He was out there cruising around, taking people on boats and talking about Aavegotchi and everything on his ship.
yeah, literally like the most, just it's so unfair what life throws at people. You think getting all the sunshine and just health,
Yeah.
and then those curveballs all around. Great shot of him with Z-Bot. Hell yeah, Nadio. Looks like I believe that's Miami with the Licky's mural, if I'm not mistaken, on site. Yeah, amazing guy. Always the good ones, the best of us.
Yeah, he even while he was sick, he still showed up to the IRL events and spread the Gotchi gospel. Like even in Denver this last year, where it was clear that he was, getting worse, he was out there grinding for us. So it's definitely
Oh.
very sad.
Oh, like they
Yeah.
keep us in touch. I mean, just if you hear anything else, or there's ways we can, I don't know, like contribute or help the family in any way. It's uh, probably I don't know what's appropriate in this situation, but we definitely love that guy. So if anything comes up, please pass it on. Um,
Health is wealth, friends. So, everyone take care of yourselves.
Indeed.
Golden Cross. You're in visiting some. Just back to the base topic. You were in visiting the
Oh,
base event uh, this week.
yeah. Yeah, I was at the that base batch kind of builders meetup hosted here in Singapore, and it was cool. It was a very good event. Really glad to attend, and saw some familiar faces. Saw a couple, actually saw a couple OGs that got into Ghost like 2020, 2021, like some of the earliest. There was definitely some super OGs from the industry there, and got to catch them up on Aavegotchi. Uh, didn't talk like directly like how much do you still have? Did you diamond hand or are you? I got the impression like at least for one of them, uh, he's like moved on. He's focused on so many other topics, but like he's doing a lot of AI stuff and all that right now. But definitely has a soft spot for Aavegotchi and was super stoked to hear we're moving to base. So he's at a base event, right? So he's like, "What's
Yeah.
Aavegotchi doing here?" I'm like, "We're moving to base." He's like, "No shit." So that was cool. Just get the word out a little bit. Not everybody's on crypto Twitter or in our Discord or that kind of thing. So definitely gonna do more on that front in terms of just raising awareness. And there it was basically like a quad. It wasn't really a hackathon, but it was just like an education seminar to onboard more people to build on base and Farcaster, things like that. So I left the event thinking like from especially the DAO's perspective, uh, we do have some talented devs here. We also have plenty of funds to bring in other dev houses, and there's actually studios now that just do like, not studios, but even just small teams that you can contact, and they just do Farcaster builds for you, like mini dApps. And there's definitely it would be really cool to see some community led mini dApps for Aavegotchi related stuff going live on Farcaster, and everybody here making a Farcaster account and just showing up during the base rollout. I mean, um, if we were to all like just show up and be present and basically become users of base's most popular dApps, we would immediately get much more noticed, and the impact would definitely be felt. So, let's mint some stuff on Zora. Let's use Farcaster. Um, let's bring our stuff over and invite people in and do some campaigns and bounties. But they're very builder focused. So anybody
Mhm.
here that wants to build, I think this is a great window of time to be like, hey, with a very small budget, we can show up and ship, a mini dApp that leverages our on-chain SDK or the on-chain assets or ties into the bazaar or the fake gotchis. There's like an infinite number of things we could do. I don't know if you guys remember at the last base hackathon I went to, within an afternoon, we had a Farcaster mini dApp that was basically like hot or not, like swipe right, swipe left, comparing, two fake Gotchi pieces of art. And, that was a cool concept. We did a proof of concept. It wasn't quite on chain yet. But now with us actually moving that art to base, it would make a lot of sense to revisit little fun projects like that. So everybody should remember, like, you guys are super empowered. You basically have carte blanche to go make Aavegotchi games, dApps, experiences. And I think with a decent proposal, you can get funded for that kind of stuff. So highly encourage everybody to build with Aavegotchi. A little bit can go a long way. It doesn't have to be like a Gotchi Guardian scale project. Great shots there, Musashi. The other interesting thing is just at the meta level was a bit biased. It's a base event again, but people that showed up for that were obviously like EVM base is the only game in town. Like it ain't Polygon anymore. It's um, Ethereum's still too expensive to build on. Like jury's out on that. And so
Yeah.
build on base.
Yeah, I see it getting. It's going to be bases where like so many builders are gathering right now. I am seeing Hyperliquid is coming out pretty strong as well, but I think base is going to take the cake for at least a while now. It's just so strong over there. Even when there's been some kind of drama and things with the coin tend and all that, but it's at the end of the day, it's attention. Well, I think what they're doing over there, really just trying to make the chain fast and cheap. I mean, that's really what you want in a blockchain, fast and cheap. And like they're pursuing those goals very, very strongly.
Yeah, so great place to build. And then, it's not all building. Like maybe the shark is jump for things like Milady's maybe, but I'm not even aware of them building anything other than their NFT collection, but they just had a edge to them, right? Like they were just present, like just showing up and speaking their piece and having an opinion, and that went a long way. So
the Miladies have they as a project didn't really build much, but a lot of builders have Milady PFPs. Like the friend pet guy, for example, like he's a Milady. Let's see, there's a couple. There's definitely like quite a few Milady builders. So they
Nice.
they don't themselves as a project build, but the people that their community is very builder focused.
All right. Builders that don't have their own PFP project, I just default to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their derivatives also do really well on other chains, like Hypeos, which is like a Milady derivative. I think it flipped Milady's on Hype EVM, and then yesterday there was one I think it's Dreamrilio or something like that from on Abstract that was like the Hype project. It's above. It ran to like 0.1 ETH, which isn't much, but for Abstract, it's nice.
Yeah, my Hypeo done. I bought one Hypeo. It's done pretty well.
Yeah, like Piglet keeps bringing up the screenshots of me being like, I think this is too expensive when it was at less than 1 ETH, and buying other garbage Hype EVM stuff instead.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, let me just mine is it's I almost bought the Go one because I fucking love Go, but I think the one I wanted, the overlay didn't have the. I couldn't find one that had the Go and the overlay I wanted, so I ended up going with let me find it here. It's cute. I like the art. Not as much as Gotchi's, but I think it's cute art. Then I think I don't get the art. I mean, there's levels to it.
I didn't realize mine has a Neopet shirt. This is the Dreamrilio, whatever the Abstract thing. But yeah, I just bought the floor one yesterday, and I'm like, oh, it has a Neopets. That's kind of cool.
It's really capturing that era's nostalgia very well.
It's very what is that? Frutiger Arrow style, which is it's in vogue right now. With like Zora recently used Frutiger Arrow. It's very like early internet, not early internet, but like early.
This is 1997.
Well, yeah, it's like Y2K pre and post within a few years. It's that whole era.
I mean, you got Rainbow Road. Well played. Great choice. That Hypeo probably listens to like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. Looks like someone new white.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Base is still, in terms of just the massive ecosystem that they have, like I think Hyper EVM is still pretty far behind everything that you can do on Base. But this is what I say. I think I talked about this a few Hangouts ago. Like, is it? That's kind of why it's not. I don't think it's Sephiroth exactly, but a lot of them like look like Sephiroth. But maybe it is Sephi Verd. Maybe that's a reference to Sephiroth. I don't know. I fucking love Sephiroth. But yeah, I was saying like the fact that we have to choose a chain and like go all in on a chain is so painful. Like I love Base. I think Base is a perfect chain where we should be, but it is like it does feel like it's a base. Like I wish we could expand beyond our base, our home base, and go other places. And yeah, we should be on like Hyper EVM and I'm struggling to think of other like,
Did you see my post
successful
about
L2s,
abstract?
but it is yeah, maybe abstract. Like things are kind of consolidating, especially post Pectra. I think we are going to start seeing bigger winners, and like bases obviously kind of taking the cake. Arbitrum's doing pretty well, but we are going to see consolidation. At the same time, though, like people are not going to they're not going to stop launching chains. I was having this idea today, like maybe what if we could have like an Aavegotchi, but there's only one. I don't know. Do you guys remember DHH? He launched this project where like it was on Ethereum, and you had to collectively take care of a Gotchi, not a Gotchi, but it was like an NFT, and you had to feed the Gotchi. I think you had to feed the pet. But it died because people stopped feeding it on Ethereum because it was so expensive. But I thought like he was kind of experimenting. I think this is the same guy that did Loot. I think I can't remember if this was before or after he did Loot. But like the idea of like having one canonical deployment of an Aavegotchi, but like everyone on the chain has to take care of it, and you kind of like you compete. Each chain competes to like take care of their Gotchi the best. Because I know we all want like a pet to take care of, but I don't know. I was just thinking, had a shower thought today. Like maybe we could have a multi-chain Gotchis that have USDC or something as collateral. And you got to take care of them. But it'd be really cool to have if we could have multi-chain deployments, because there's like every time there's a new chain, there's hype around that chain. There's people attracted to whatever is launching on that chain, and just by being on only one chain, we don't. It's very hard to like stay relevant with the Web3 audience because everyone's liquidity is just sloshing around all these different new experiences.
Yeah, like this week on Abstract, they ran the Abstract games, which you had to buy a ticket for. It was like $21 worth of ETH, where before the ETH pump, and they sold like almost 10,000 of these tickets. But the game they had us playing was RecTech, which is like Gamblefy. It's actually not a game at all, and it's actually a failed game from Solana, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, oh man, like all
Dude,
of
the bar is so low.
So low.
The bar, like we have these amazing games that people in Aavegotchi are building, but the bar is just so low that we haven't been able to like get out and join these communities because we're not picking chains. Like we've kind of picked where we want to go. We're not just deploying randomly everything over to Abstract, but not being there does have kind of a cost, I guess, if we're trying to like be appealing to people, this kind of class of degen that's just jumping around to different experiences on different chains.
Yeah, Musashi, I agree. I bought the ticket thinking that it was going to be several games. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's try some Abstract games. I stream over there daily, and all of the games are they're not like, I mean, Gigaverse is decent, Cambria is decent, but like Roach Racing, it's just like you're using like your Roach is based on if you pick correctly on a like 1 second chart, if Bitcoin's going up or down, like something like that. Most of it's just Gamblefy and not really games at all. So the Abstract team has defended it, saying it's VRF and like this is what makes it cool. But it's like like if any of these games like we would need a NFT integration of some sort, or at least a wallet connect. But like Gotchi Guardians, I think I could see tournaments over there blowing up because people are farming the XP, so they're gonna play the games anyway, just because they're trying to get the Abstract token.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I was thinking about like how could we can deploy what does it mean to deploy a game? I guess every chain has their own strategies on that. Like when we deploy the Basement Fund, they don't have any requirements about like they deploy the NFT on their own B3 chain. It's like a cartridge. I don't think it really means anything. I think it's just kind of a symbolic thing. But if we were to, do a partnership with Abstract and try to get in on some of that action, like we're not going to move the whole marketplace over to Abstract. I guess we could have specific Abstract like skins or something. Maybe that would mean like something a low lift. But it's like how to do that in a way that is actually like gonna get some support from them.
Yeah, I think if you tie into the AGW, the global wallet that they have, the NFT part of it, you have to figure that part out. But yeah, it makes me laugh because I look at the Abstract games, and these are games that some of them I've like checked out a couple years ago because we were trying to partner with them at Orium, and they just weren't going anywhere. So now seeing them pop up on Abstract, it's kind of funny because it's like, all right, these games failed on their original chain. Now they're over here being touted based on this XP thing, and people, they love it. They'll do it because they're farming. But it's like, yeah, if we can get over there in any capacity, I think that'd be great because the number of people. I think there was another project also that like is selling like packs or like some kind of membership and is doing like a few of them, and they're doing really well because people are just trying to farm the XP. So they're like, essentially like what we wanted from consoles. I know Sugartown's doing this. They're selling their cores, and they're calling that like the gaming console for their Web3 experience. They had like a poker tournament yesterday or something like that, that a lot of big people were playing in. So could be interesting.
Yeah, it might just be as simple as doing an Abstract skin, having that as a Abstract only mint. That would probably be the lowest lift for the team. Get a universal skin, works on any Guardian, perhaps. It's got to be something we can do. The dinosaur skin. Yeah, maybe it's a dino. We do have the Fomosaurus skin. Maybe it could be wearing a pudgy penguin hat or something. Dino swap Dino. Only the OGs. Finally on the migration stuff, did make some progress this week. There's still this very tricky issue that we're debugging with the wearables and the subgraph, but we're going to start deploying other contracts like the Forge and Aavegotchis and a couple others, probably Realm parcels. Those are already deployed, and we're going to start the cloning process on base Sepolia. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get the DApp to everyone to start playing with and looking at your balances and helping us verify that. But wearables are they're trickier than we had expected, just because of all the, I guess, the equipping and the lending and the delegating now that Orium added. Like it's quite a tangled web. So now we've just switched to checking the on-chain balance, which is also not a very straightforward process, but probably going to be more accurate than using the subgraph for that. So team is making progress, a little bit slower than we had hoped because of this blocker with wearables, but we're almost through it. I think almost untangled the web.
Very encouraging, Dan. You guys have been burning the midnight oil on that, and it is a web to untangle. It's not a normal. I mean, it's not as straightforward as you'd think, but with all the complexity of our on-chain ecosystem.
Ooh, Goobs coming in here with some last-minute alpha. Is this a vibe coded raffle platform, sir? Let me know if you want me to review any smart contracts. I can maybe do a better job than Gemini 2.5, but we'll see.
Jeez, y'all wait until the last minute of the hangout here. You got Goobs with some stuff building, and Zbot here with the first Zora Aavegotchi. So Zbot, what, we can go mint these right now? This looks live. That's what I'm talking about. We got to start using the platforms and showing up.
Yeah. That's the best way to get respect from the base community, is just use their stuff, interact with them. It's kind of what was missing on Polygon. Like, everyone was just siloed in their own little thing on Polygon. Base is like much more open, but they're only open if you're not LARPing. Like, you actually gotta get in there and do stuff.
Yeah.
All right, friends, let's jump into the Dower. Hey, Roxiano.
Good